Refresh. Welcome to Unfiltered and Informed, the new show that tackles current events and the most controversial topics. Tonight, I have with me Ryan Brooks and Amir Agajani, both two friends of mine, two great guests that have been on with me before, but tonight, we're talking about some really interesting topics. One, we have Hurricane Laura, like literally right outside the door. We've got NBA shutting it down, boycotting because of the Jacob Blake shooting, which we're gonna go all the way into that. Claudia Conway, dumbass child, emancipating from her parents. Just a bunch of stuff to talk about. But we're gonna start first. Something that I deal with daily, but Ryan Brooks being on the show with me now, travels all over the country, not just traveling and vacationing, but building homes and roofs and stuff like that. Ryan, how do you deal with the work-life balance? Like, what is it that keeps you engaged?
Well, I worked in corporate America for a while, actually 27 years. And while doing that, towards the end of that, I was just like, man, I needed more work-life balance. Got into construction, got into roofing. And through that process, it let me do my passions, find my hobbies, hiking, camping, just living life. And how do you create that balance to where you get one shot at this life that we have? What are we going to do while we're in your life to enjoy the most of it? What does that look like for, me? So what I did is I just got into a career, got into things that I enjoyed or was passionate about to open up opportunity so I can get out and enjoy life, have a better life, do work, but have a better life. Like, what does that look like?
Sure.
When there's an opportunity, take it. If there's a gap between work, if you work for yourself, if you work for a company, it's a little harder to do, but don't let a moment pass you by to live life, whatever that is. Don't sit on your couch. Don't get stagnant. Don't, just let life pass you by.
Sure. No, I understand. And it's funny that he said that, letting life pass you by. Every time we go on this show, we have topics that we're going to hit and to introduce everybody and to get the ball rolling. I actually don't give a shit about any of our topics tonight. Actually getting the ball rolling, like his work-life balance, I love it. Like I brought it up because he does a lot of traveling. I do a lot of traveling. So I really just wanted to hear about his travels, what he does, like where he's going next, what he's doing. But more than that, like we've been talking, the pre-show was fantastic because we talked about all these topics and I want to dig right into them. Normally I introduce my guests and I talk a little bit about what they do and then let the conversation happen organically. But tonight we're just going to skip right through that because there's some real major topics right now that just drive me crazy. One, I want to say this and I want everybody else to look me right in my eyes. Can I get a solo? LeBron James, fuck you. I think that you're an idiot. Like you're a moron. Like, yes, you're a great athlete. Congratulations. Are you the GOAT? Absolutely not. Like you couldn't play in the same league with Michael Jordan if your life depended on it. You'd end up a mediocre point guard. Shooting guard, whatever the fuck they call this second guy on there. Not running anything because every time you'd run into somebody, they'd check you. Like you trying to play against Dennis Rodman, they'd just check you and put you on the ground and then you'd yell out that it was Trump's fault, like everything else that you do. That's really why I have a problem with LeBron. Yesterday he said, I'm done with Trump. This has gone too far. I'm fucking done. Like, done with what? Like, what have you ever done? Like, when have you ever had the problems with police? Which I know you haven't. Like, you went to a private school your whole life. Like, you're as privileged as I am. Like, you live the most extravagant life, and all you do is bitch about how hard it is for everybody else that you've never experienced in your entire life. Totally beside that. I'm just upset because the way that you come about it, and now I will never buy season tickets in the NBA again. Like I will not renew next year because of you guys boycotting the games tonight because a fucking felon, an idiot, Jacob Blake, talking about you. Like I would actually love to have you when you get out of the hospital, wheel your wheelchair in there and let's have a conversation on my show because I think you're a fucking idiot. Like the next time that a police officer says, freeze, stop, put your hands up. let's think about this in retrospect. Stop. Freeze. Put your hands up, because you just got into a fight with two women. Then you fought with the cops. Then you ran to your car. Like, were you going to grab a gun? Were you going to grab a knife? Were you going to get behind the vehicle? Maybe run over somebody? Drive dangerously? I don't know. But the second that cop said, hey, stop, freeze, put your hands up, drop the knife, all of those are key factors to be like, maybe I should do this, or get shot in the ass because I was not listening. Like, if you weren't breaking the law, if you didn't have a warrant out for your arrest for sexual assault, trespassing, and disorderly conduct, you probably wouldn't be in this situation at all. And guaranteed, if you weren't breaking the law, nobody just shoots people 7 times. Like, there's no pictures like online. There's no videos of cops walking up to black dudes, white dudes, Mexican, I don't care what it is, and just shooting them 7 times. No, you're breaking the law. They told you to stop. You thought, shit, Black Lives Matter. I'm more important than you are. Like, I don't have to listen to your rules. And you got shot in the ass. Like, here's a hint. Don't fucking do that shit again. Don't break the law. So,
if I may, Dustin, please.
You may.
Since I disagree so hugely and wholeheartedly. First of all, there's a lot of assumptions in everything that you just said. Okay? One assumption was he got shot in the ass. You don't know that. He got shot 7 times. That's what we know. We know
one
that
of them hit in the ass.
we know that if all those, the felon and all that, we don't know that the cops knew he was a felon. We don't know that they had identified him at the time. So we don't know what they know about his history at that time. Okay. Cops showed up because the original call was 2 white women were fighting. They show up. They could have been his girlfriends, whatever. He begins to resist the officers, runs around the car, right? And the officers are proceeding to run after him. As he opens the car, they fire their guns, not their non-lethal choices, 7 times. 7 times. 7 times. It was not a cow. It was not a bull. It was not a longhorn. They shot him 7 times. Now, it's dependent a lot on what was in the car, right? It'll come out eventually. They're gonna prosecute these guys. It's gonna come out in court. If there was a knife, if there was a gun, yes, unfortunately, he's gonna get a civil suit. He's gonna get a big settlement, but these guys aren't gonna get in trouble. I just don't believe the situation rendered a cause for a man to be shot 7 times in front of his kids. They don't know where those bullets could have ricocheted. One could have ricocheted, hit a child. They don't know nothing. They panicked, okay, and they're doing a lot of overreacting, if I may suggest.
That's a tense situation to be in.
It is, but as we talked about in the pre-show, 10 out of 10 events, white man versus black man, the black guy's going to get shot 2.5 times more than the white guy.
But is that because it happens so much more often?
No, I'm saying we take 10 events. The statistics are 10 and 10. We're not saying 30 events.
We're going to have to fact check that.
Please, audience, if you're out there, fact check this, fact check me. I promise you, colored people get shot more than white guys.
But do you think...
I consider myself a white guy because of my skin complexion, by the way. But like, if I got in that situation and I was running towards my car, they would have probably tased me.
Sure, no,
but they did tase
agree.
him.
Yeah, he had already walked through a taser. From what was said, they had already tried to tase him, and he just walked through it.
There's no justification for what happened, but he's in a situation. He sees the cops come. He knows the situation where he's got a warrant. He's going to get the hell out of there. We don't know what happened behind the car door. Yes, 7 was excessive, way excessive, but no one knows what was coming out of that car.
Right.
I mean, no one knew his kids were in the car. They're focused on the situation. It's not right. It's shooting 7 times. I get it. It's way excessive, but we really don't know. And the way the media plays things, the facts aren't really they're never going to come out.
No, they'll come out. They'll come out.
Let's say the facts are a little muddled right now and uncertain, right? Let's just say that we don't know everything there is to know about this situation right now. But what we do know is that after the fact, there was protests. During those protests, a white guy with an AR-15 shot 3 people and walked towards the police officers with this AR-15 strapped across his chest. And they didn't tase him or shoot him or do anything. They proceeded to have a conversation with this man. Hey, everything, you got it? All right.
Do we have actual footage of that? Because I don't know.
He walked. Yes, yeah. There's footage of him walking back. It doesn't just bear with me.
Bear with you.
It doesn't matter.
Hey,
You're
Johnny,
walking towards police officers.
Bring his volume down. It's super loud in my headphones.
You're walking towards police officers with an AR-15.
Well, they potentially could have been scared. They're holding a 9mm, and a piece of shit taser that some guy just walked right.
If a
you just
black
muted
man,
me too much. Put me back up. He was real loud. That's all I was saying.
If a black man walked towards police officers with an AR-15, no matter what he just did, no matter his intention, do you think they would carry?
If it's a non-threatening approach, no, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so.
So then let's just call running away a non-threatening approach.
What if we're reaching for something? We can speculate. We can assume. We don't.
No,
we
I
don't
hear
know.
you. I agree.
You
with
hear
you.
what I'm saying?
I hear exactly what
I'm
you're saying.
One man's running away, and he gets shot 7 times.
But he wasn't. He didn't just run away from the cops. Like he just got into a fight with them, and they tried to tase him, and they said stop.
Okay,
this guy was walking towards them, giving himself up. Clearly, I think it's how that actually went down. He was like, "Okay, don't shoot me. Here's my gun."
He had his finger across the pistol.
Oh, so it wasn't on the trigger?
Wasn't on the. You know.
He's got some training.
You know how? Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. You know what?
Cover the trigger.
Yeah, don't cover the trigger. But what I'm saying is, no matter what the scenario, you're walking towards during a protest, right? A heated, unpredictable situation. You're walking towards a group of police officers with an AR-15 across your chest.
Yeah, but everybody's been doing that here lately. Everybody's got a gun, and everybody's trying to show off their.
And they
First
knew
Amendment,
that he was the one
Second
that
Amendment.
shot those three.
They don't know.
They knew.
They did.
They did.
You know that.
Watch these videos. Go back and fact check this. They knew that he was the one that shot those because it was right down the street, and then he walked towards them after.
How did they know it was him that pulled the trigger? There was because here's the deal. If they knew it was him, they would, in my assumption, which is you should never assume. I get it, but if they knew it was him, they would have had to have seen him do the act.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
They didn't know it was him. When you see the video of everything that's going on, there's no cop around. So they didn't know it was him. It's just a protester with a gun. I'm sure he wasn't the one and only protester with a gun. So
That's
when he
true.
walks
That's
up
true,
to them, they're not going to think it's an unthreatening fact. So they didn't go, that's the guy that shot the guys. No, they don't know.
Okay. Let's say I agree with you guys. Okay. How come you have so many arguments for a man holding a machine gun, but you have 0 arguments for a man that runs around a car?
No, because I saw and I've heard the facts that happened in his situation. What they don't know is just like that other kid that got killed last week, got shot in the face or whatever, that was carrying the machine gun and then had a conversation with news reporters like 15 minutes before he died. There's a bunch of people out there protesting right now, and everybody wants to show off their guns. Everybody wants to show up and express their right to bear arms and stuff. Like that's happening more and more and more. So because I haven't been a part of the protests or the riots, I don't know actually how many people actually are carrying guns, but I'm seeing more and more and more people carrying guns. So now the cops do have to be a little apprehensive about people carrying guns because some of them are doing it legally, some are not. The situation with, I was just going to say something rude, and I know people don't like that, but the retard that got shot 7 times specifically just got into a fight with 2 women first, then 3 officers. Then he decided to run to his car. We don't know what he's going to do at that point. But after you read the facts, you're like, oh, he's got a warrant out for sexual assault and trespassing and disorderly conduct. You start putting the numbers together. You're like, yeah, he was running. Like he knew he was about to get arrested because he was acting like a dumbass. So him running to the car, regardless of him getting a gun or just driving that car, there was people everywhere. If you look at the streets in those videos, there's kids and women and kids. There's people everywhere. And all he wanted to do was flee.
Everywhere.
So he's going to run over somebody, run over some kid. What happens if there's 5 little kids out there watching and the cops are behind him and he just plows through them? We have a completely different story then.
Yes.
These guys told him, stop, put your hands up, freeze. Like they went through their protocol and he did not stop. Do I think that that's right for lethal? No. I think what he should have done potentially is pulled out his taser, shot him in the ass when he was trying to get in the car, or took a baton or tackled him, something along those lines. Shooting him, that's excessive. I agree. I agree with you.
I agree.
That's
Everything
excessive.
he did was stupid.
Right.
When the guys say stop.
Sure.
No matter your color.
Right.
Because the problem is, if your color is the wrong color, you're 2.5 times more likely to get shot.
I see what you did there.
I get it. Yeah.
The whole
But
circle around.
we can what if and we can speculate
But we
both
all agree
situations.
it's excessive.
It's excessive.
No,
it
it
is
is.
excessive. But they tasered him. They tried that. He didn't do it. If he would have just said, I got a warrant, but he's not thinking that way. He just don't want to go back to jail.
Right.
So we don't know what was going on between then and around the car. Just like the other guy who had his AR-15, whatever. If he approached the cops, they didn't do anything. You don't know. We can what if the shit out of anything. The situation, they're not the same. They're not.
It's true. It's true. It's funny that it's like the guy holding the AR-15. It's like you don't know, but the guy that was running there's so much that led him up to getting shot 7 times.
This is true.
It's that's
True.
part
Well,
of.
we don't even know the pre-story of how he shot them, or why he shot them.
The kid, the AR-15,
Right, the 17-year-old.
It had something to do with shop owners and their, what's happening is all of this Antifa and this rioting, these people who shop owners, they're protecting themselves now because of the exposure.
Sure.
So all of this is coming out. So everybody's arming themselves. So they're in the streets and, you don't know who you're messing with now, number one. And so if one of those guys is a shop owner and he comes at you.
Well, wait, where did this, and man, I'm just more 4-letter words. Where did this fucking dumbass 17-year-old kid come up with the AR-15, and why was he shooting people? Was he upset about?
Apparently, he owns a shop that behind where the police were posted.
Oh,
Where the police were posted, he owns it. And as he's walking towards the police with the AR-15, they apparently ask him something. They don't ask him to put his gun down.
Oh.
They don't ask him anything. And he says, hey, I own that shop behind you.
well, they probably knew him. They probably been sitting there in front of his shop for weeks. That makes it this. You just changed your whole story up now. Now, so we're putting the dots
but
together.
he's walking 2.5 blocks down and shooting people.
Maybe that
and
was
then
the dude
got
just
attacked.
broke his window out.
He got attacked. There's pictures of him getting hit in the head with a skateboard. And
See,
then
now he has defense attorneys.
Well, no, the story starts to make sense. Like, you get hit in the head with a skateboard. Maybe I'll shoot you with my AR-15. It's a little different story.
I feel like if that guy got shot 7 times, at least this kid could have got tasered.
Sure.
At least.
Right, but maybe this dude
Something.
that owns the shop doesn't have a taser. Maybe he only has an AR-15. These guys are breaking into his shop where they're going to burn
No,
his
it
shit
was
down.
3 blocks away. It was.
Regardless, I still don't like that kid for shooting these people. I don't.
Which, by the way, I understand he got apprehended. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they have arrested him.
So
He's
so
in custody.
somebody agrees with me.
Well, they have
He
to
got
do
charged.
due process. I mean, they have to do diligence and figure out, actually
Shot
what happened.
one guy in the head, 2 others in the abdomen.
What if they just? Well, clearly, something happened before that to antagonize that. Like that, something happened that he needed to shoot these people. Were they threatening him? Did they hit him in the head with a skateboard? I mean, if you hit me in the head with a skateboard and I got an AR close to me, you might get shot in the abdomen. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, dude with an AR-15 is much more liable to get shot 7 times than a guy opening the door.
But
to
I
his
actually think,
car.
but actually, I think that the way that story goes together, now that you ask that, is he went down there because those guys had some kind of issue, and then he went back to his shop where those cops were, and they were like, "Hey, that's Jimmy. He owns the shop that we're standing in front of. Like, Jimmy, what's going on?" He's like, "I just shot these guys. Like, don't shoot me." And they're like, "Okay, give us your gun. Get on your knees." And he didn't run off, so they didn't need to shoot him.
How convenient and comfortable does that sound?
It sounds.
Hey, Jimmy,
it
give
sounds
me
a
your
lot better.
AR-15 and get on your knees.
Hey,
speculation.
speculation.
Hey,
wait,
Jimmy,
Make the
give me
story.
your AR-15 and get on your knees.
what is his name? Can you look up his name?
The kid that shot 3
Look,
people.
there's a picture of him getting whacked in the head with a skateboard.
I don't need to see
Anyway,
the picture, but I
anyway.
do want to move on because
Not that was justifiable to shoot in the stomach, but come on, he's got a gun.
Listen.
Somebody's got a gun. I'm not gonna get close enough with them.
Yeah.
Skateboard.
So what you're
knife
tell-
to a gunfight.
So
Think
what you're
about it.
telling me is this repeated colored person being shot by police officer that happens too fucking constantly is just a result of them being stupid?
I think that the arrogance or and it's not just Black Lives Matter, it's what's going on in the country right now, in the world specifically. They feel to embrace, like they're like, oh, we know that there's cameras. I can act a little bit fucking more out of line than I was before because they're on notice now. Like the cops have to pay attention.
The cops have no culpability.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the
Kyle
17.
Rittenhouse.
Okay.
That's his name. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not Jim.
Hey, sir, I got this AR-15 because
Kyle.
I own that store behind you. I'm okay. I'm
Well,
cool.
no, he probably explained himself. They said, "Hey, were you the guy shooting down there?" And he's like, "Yes." And they're like, "Okay, get on your ass." Anyway, I want to move past that because, well, we don't have to move past it totally. The things that are happening more and more often are because people are just not showing the respect to the cops that they should. Like, and I'm not saying that these cops are in the right. We have a lot of dumbass cops out there. We have a lot of good cops out there too. One thing specifically that we need to do is to educate those guys and to train them better so that they handle situations like that better. That's one thing.
That's for sure. That's for sure. They
And we
need
can't
more
do that
training.
by defunding.
No.
Clearly.
No, look, the defunding the police thing, they just that movement used the wrong word. That word defunding is so strong. They really mean like rebudget
Right.
everything.
No, I
but
know.
when you say defunding, you're stripping away.
When we say rebudget, you're talking about taking cops off the street. You're talking about cutting down the time that you train them. Like that's what's
No,
happening
you're-
effectively.
You're talking about taking away like weapons that like the Iraqi, like U.S. military in Iraq have, you know, that might not be necessary.
Sure, but they're not just talking about that. They were talking about getting rid of 400. The reason that police chief in Seattle retired or resigned was because they're talking about taking 400 police officers off of her staff. 400. I'm not talking about 40 or 4. I'm talking about 400. They're talking about just letting them go.
No, yeah, I don't believe in not having police. I believe in training them in non-lethal
You know,
methods.
in the UK, and that's a good point that you made. In the UK, they train these officers for 3 years before you're a police officer. Here, it's like 4 months in the academy and you're out. And
You're out there.
each county and each precinct has their own guidelines to that. There's no federal standard that everybody has to go through. Over there in the UK, it is a federal deal. It's countrywide that they're required to do this amount of time to train, and they're just talking about the differences that they have, that we have, that the issues, and it's clearly the training. You know, like we.
But
need,
I don't think America would. We wouldn't have any cops if it took somebody that amount of time to become a cop.
That's not true. That's not true. If you
you
paid
did-
them right and you made the
There's
right
the key.
incentive,
Pay 'em right.
If you had,
And
the
now we're talking about
incentives there,
defunding them.
Well, our whole country is going to shit, and I wanted to move past this way before, talking specifically about Claudia Conway. I've been waiting to talk about this, and it's hard to
I
pick.
can't wait.
It's hard to pick on a child. I have an 11-year-old son. She's 4 years older than him, but if Ryder said the shit that she says on, one, he doesn't have a phone or a internet or a Instagram or a Facebook already, but this little girl has TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat. She has it all, and she's
She has
posting
a platform.
regularly, just degrading both of her parents. And her dad's a complete dumbass, and I feel like that's where he gets a lot of it from. And her mom is about as close to a female gangster as you can possibly get. Like, you talk about being down in the dirt and doing some real shady shit. Like, Kellyanne has done it, seen it, been around it for the past 40 years. Like, she is as close to an American gangster as you can possibly get. And her husband is just, he
Look, you cannot be 15 years old and have a developed ideology in your mind
right, you're not intelligent enough.
to emancipate yourself from your family. And let me tell you something. Warren Buffett is a genius. No matter how you look at him, talk about him, see him, there's something there. He's a genius. He's a genius that somehow used it utilitarian-wise to create something that affects all of us. Everybody wants to invest like Warren Buffett.
Sure.
Warren Buffett's main argument with his father was that his father was a staunch Republican and he was a Democrat. And he'll never tell any interviewer, he's never talked about any conversation with his father, but it was a it was a huge deal to him because he's such an intelligent geek. He thinks that you can't be a staunch anything without thinking. You have to think. If you're such an ideologist about anything, you're not thinking. So they broke away, right? Their father and son relationship broke down. Is a political difference enough at 15 years old to emancipate from your parents?
Well, no, she can't pick either side. Her dad's one direction, her mom's another. For her to leave, where does that leave her? That's just a kid being a kid.
Kid being a kid.
She has no.
And I'm sorry.
Well, the
kid
parents
with
need to
a
be
lot of-
parents.
with a lot of privilege.
But how
yeah.
do you?
Well,
how do-
that's the other thing that's direct result of both parents being caught up in their careers and not being a parent. You know, like leaving her at home too much time, you know, like not supervising what she's actually doing.
She's not gonna have to worry about money, even if they emancipate her fully. She's not gonna have to worry about shit.
7 million followers on,
you know, like she's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Her emancipation is all for
her
show.
next thing. All she needs is a makeup line, and L'Oreal or Kylie will pick her
it's
up.
Over.
You know, as be
it's over. You know, it's not like one of us emancipates and it's like
beat it.
Yeah.
My parents are like, yeah, and take your stinking ass shoes with you.
Yeah,
Get the fuck
exactly.
out of my house.
Well, you know, I mean, they're not raising her. They're not, you know, it's like if you don't raise them, somebody else will. And with the amount of content that she obviously is on the social media platform. So if they're not controlling what content's being pumped into her.
Oh, no. Did you not see the video?
Of her?
Yeah.
Her complaining?
No, not that. She was talking all kinds of shit about her mom.
Her mom. Yeah.
When they were
the
on
one about
vacation, her mom's like, hey, y'all. And then she's like, this fucking idiot. And she's like, bitch, give me the phone. And you see them like tussle over the phone. And it's great. I love that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's serious.
just
That's what spawned her leaving the campaign.
I feel like this. I feel like Claudia has like some legit dirt on her mom. And she's like, look, bitch, you leave office.
Yeah,
and come back and be mom, or I'm gonna air all your dirty laundry. And she's like, what the fuck? I never thought that my daughter would be the one that snitched me out. You know, like I've been working for all these politicians my whole life.
Dad's dancing in the background. You tell her.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, fuck Trump. Trump's a dumbass. Like he's such a hater on Trump, you know, and Trump calls him the whatever, the loser dad. You know,
loser dad. Yeah,
gives him a hard time.
Well,
So
I mean,
he's
his job is to get rid of Trump. That's the whole Lincoln Project. That's what he's part of. It's to get rid of Trump. I mean, can you imagine living in that household?
Oh, man.
Like, I mean, that's worse
it's like
than
being
having
a Cowboys and a Redskins fan.
Well, I
in the
was
same
going to
house.
say UT and A&M, right? Like, I mean, if you have one kid, like, what the fuck you going to do when you get out of school? You know, like, what's your decision?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like a political argument is a political argument. It's fine. At my table in my house, I have a sister who's a police officer. I have a brother-in-law with a super staunch Republican conservative family. I have a sister who's a staunch Democrat. I'm a Democrat myself. My mom is, God knows what she is. She'll agree with
She won't tell anybody.
She won't tell anybody. It's still secret.
Keeps it close to the chest.
She wants everybody coming home.
Those excited conversations, that's not enough to emancipate from your family. Like, there's got to be some dirty shit we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That like 15 years
Everybody
old.
has their secrets, man. And they probably have a bunch.
Well, that's a little different.
Yeah,
Like,
she's 15 and she's like, I want to divorce you two crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I don't want to see y'all anymore, but keep paying me, which they will.
Oh,
people kids have divorced their parents before. I mean, that made
I had
the
a
news.
good friend of mine that
Yeah.
left his dad like his junior year. He's a year younger than me. Left his dad and was like, dude, I'm doing my own thing. Got his own apartment and like turned out to be a great dude. Married, got great kids, great job, smart dude. Like he just had a difference with them and he was already mature enough to make that decision, which 17 I think is even a little young, but 17, 20 years ago is a little different than 17
Who
now,
was
or
the
especially
actor?
15.
And Macaulay Culkin emancipated
Culkin.
from his parents at one
Yeah,
time. I
he
mean,
had 70 million. They had 70,000 in
Right,
their bank
but I'm
account. Like,
just
it's a little
saying,
different.
but-
Like you're not telling me shit. You know.
Plus, I think in the world there's some parents who treat their children so brutally and abuse them so much. It's beyond pale. It's beyond things we can understand, and I can see the reason for emancipation in those cases where a child has nowhere to go. It's like they're lost in the abuse. But I don't think
This is the situation.
this 15-year-old girl, Kellyanne Ann Wade Conway's daughter, has this problem.
No.
I mean, I had, I'm glad I didn't know emancipation. You could do that to your parents. I mean, I had a great childhood, and I would never emancipate from my parents. But
Me neither.
I mean, but even the thought of that, like, I mean, a couple of times I thought about running away from home, but I mean, that's just because I was mad. I'm not gonna get
My dad
rid
would
of
have
my
whooped. My dad
parents.
would have whooped my ass, and then I would have said emancipation, and he would have whooped my ass again.
Oh yeah. More like EMP, and they start counting like, oh, I'm gonna whip your ass for every
This many
time. And I'm from like a super country family, and like my dad's strong, and me and my brother used to do the same shit. Like I'm fucking running away, like we go live in the woods behind our house. We had like this fort and this we had a buck and bull in the tree we made out of a wire and these 55-gallon drum. Like we had like our own little world in these woods behind my house. So like we could leave for like a night, and then you're like, shit, man, I don't have any money.
Right.
I'm hungry, like.
Well, 2 miles is far from your house. You're like, I'm gonna run away.
Yeah.
I get 2 miles down the road. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second.
I'll never
Bad
forget.
idea.
There used to be a time when like highlighting your hair was cool. like back in the day. And I had those highlighted tips, and I came home, and my dad told me if I wanted a third daughter, I would have asked God for one and proceeded to whoop the blonde out of my hair and my ass, man. It was unfucking believable. Now, if I tell I want to get emancipated from you, it just would have gotten worse.
You caught a real whooping. All right, man, we're going to go to a commercial, and we will be
do it.
right back.
You're driving along, enjoying a great day, when all of a sudden, someone's negligence causes you to be injured in a car accident. From the minute an accident happens, things can get complicated. You seek immediate medical help, but still feel scared and overwhelmed. You worry about your damaged property and the bills piling up for treatment. You need help, but aren't sure who you can trust. For over 25 years, people like you have trusted Mokaram Law Firm. When you contact Mokaram Law Firm, you are greeted by professionals that begin to put your mind at ease right away. We have a fleet of rental vehicles available for same-day pickup and a network of doctors and facilities in every specialty nationwide. While you focus on recovering, Mokaram Law Firm fights for you because we know what it's like to feel unheard by insurance companies. We will ensure you get the compensation you deserve. We want you to feel confident about our services, so we offer a super simple sign-up process and same-day cash advances. As a personal injury law firm, we also handle cases involving bad drugs and medical devices, such as Zantac, 3M earplugs, Juul, transvaginal mesh, Boy Scout abuse claims, and many more. Clients have been satisfied with our results for over 25 years. No case is too big or too small for Mokaram Law Firm. For a free legal consultation,
Scouts.
Athletes, all of my friends they're athletes also, the concussion protocol will handle all of that stuff. Call me personally, 713-899-2019. Any legal needs, even if you've got a DWI, beat up your girlfriend, you're dumb as Jacob Blake and you get shot in the ass, I got you. Like, I can take care of you. 713-899-2019. Give me a call. Moving on to dumbasses. I like that topic because Claudia Conway is kind of a product of the pass out trophies to the losers, which I hate to pieces. One, I've been an athlete, two, professional sports, you don't get a trophy if you lose. You're supposed to go home, cry, figure out what you did wrong, try and improve. But when you get a trophy when you're a loser, you're like, well, shit, this is great, man. We're going to Sweet Mesquite after this. We're going to get free tacos and stuff, with the whole team. This is going to be a huge party at the end of the season. Like, that's not how it goes. If you lose, you lost for a reason. One, you probably didn't train hard enough. One, you probably didn't study your plays. One, maybe your coaches sucked. I don't know the reason behind losing, but you don't deserve a trophy. And that's these people right now. They're like, what about me? What about you? You lost. Beat it. Like to the victors go the spoils, So, Ryan, I know we had already talked about this, and I know you have your opinions about it. Amir, you're welcome to air yours too, but I'm not a fan of giving trophies to the losers.
No, I think that, too many of the losers growing up who didn't get trophies made a movement. So
That's where it came from.
That's where it came from. So they never got a trophy. So they felt, oh shit, my kid's the best in the world. They should get a trophy regardless of whether you win or lose. So somebody started it somewhere. I don't agree with it, but we're stuck with it. And that generation is here, and that generation is going to probably start making decisions one day, and we're all kind of going to be screwed. That's my opinion.
I'm not a fan of giving trophies to losers either. However, I am a fan of helping I'm not even calling them losers. I'm going to call them the ones that fell a little behind.
Yeah.
Right.
A little education and training on how to get better.
No, but you can't get there if you get a trophy for losing.
No, you cannot. But you need to have a discussion. You need to
What's there to thrive for if you get a trophy for losing? What's the goal?
Right.
What's the goal? What are you going to do? I mean,
look, all of Trump's kids, they all got trophies. Their dad's a president. Whatever they do, if they go shit in public, they're going to get a trophy for it.
Man, I
What?
just had a conversation with Ali about that specifically. Trump has like a 4 handicap. And I don't know if you know that much about golf, but a 4 handicap is better than most professionals after they retire.
He's a damn good golfer.
But he's got a swing like Charles Barkley.
Does he really?
No, but
It's
he's
got a
a
decent
damn good golfer.
Well, I just heard too that he plays golf almost every day, and everybody's bitching
Almost
about it.
every day.
I love that. Roosevelt did that also. Like he played almost every single day, and I love that. Like you get a lot of work done out there. Like one, you're all by yourself, and you're locked in. Your focus is all there. I played golf this morning, had a great round, and I know I was thinking about the show the whole time, but the clarity there, I'm like, okay, Amir, what's he talking about? What's Ryan going to bring to the show? Like, how's this going to go down? So, like, I feel like he's probably up there. He's like, fucking Iran, like, these guys are fucking shit up, like, now I got the fucking Black Lives Matter and fucking Biden and Kamala just talking all kinds of shit about me.
Just lost my girl, Kelly Conway.
I don't think that was a big loss for him. I don't think he even cared.
Not with that new girl in the seat. What's her name? The little what's her
Who's seat?
the other chick talking in front of Trump. What's that girl's name?
The House Speaker.
The House Speaker.
Yeah.
Not House Speaker.
She's okay. She can take the
dude.
spokesperson. She can take
Right.
it. She can take it. She can take a lashing.
She's
and-
good.
She does really well, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, she does well.
good to
But
look
look,
at, too.
Trump is getting a trophy for being a -4 handicap because he's just that fucking good. But Eric Trump was sitting in his house fucking jerking off. His dad became president. Now he's in front of a million people saying, "Yes, we won. We won. We will keep winning." Look at Jared Kushner. His trophy is what? The daughter.
Yeah, but he's been working his whole life. Like that dude's been hustling since day one.
But if you read about his hustle, it's
questionable?
it's mischievous
Come
at
on,
best.
tell me
man.
some. Give me some.
Borrowing $1 billion on a building that's not worth that much that he knows is not going to get occupied.
That's the thing we talked about also, and it's something that I'm going to go back into this, and we're going to get right back into this. Groupon, specifically, I told you guys a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, before the numbers came out. Johnny was in on it, and Ebonics was too. And I told him, I said, man, the numbers are coming out. They're going to release their second quarter statement. It was $16. I said, man, buy it. Buy as much as you can. Get it. It's $33 today. Like I sold mine at 27 just because I was like, man, that's a big come up, like I'm already in the 70-80% range. Like sold mine, made a grip. And just a couple of days later, it's still just climbing through the roof. So I've got some new ones. The newest pick that I have right now is Blink, BLNK. They do charging stations for all of the electric vehicles. It's super cheap. It's like $7 right now. Like you can't buy enough of it. Look at me. Like look right at me when I say this. Buy Blink. Buy a shitload. Buy as much as you can because they're the number one in EV charging. They're all over the country, but the movement
pay per charge,
huh? Yeah, you pay for charge. Yeah, you got to, but they've got like 20,000 stations already, and they're building more as they go. But we're talking about a $7 stock that's probably going to end up in the $185 to $200 range in like the next 12 to 18 months. Like it is a crusher. And if you don't believe me, look up the show. I told you guys about Groupon just a month ago before they released their second quarter statements, and it's already doubled. It's probably going to go even further past that, but buy Blink, BLNK. It's a great company, and they're the foremost on charging EVs right now. Like they're going to be amazing.
EV's the way to go anyway right now. So you just
Dude,
gotta pay
everybody's
attention to all
buying
that.
it. Yeah.
While
EV
we're
is
there,
it.
I'm going to get one. Just
while
so
we're
y'all know.
there, can we talk about the detachment of the stock market to the economy?
Of course. I love
Please
that.
tell me that you see what I see.
Sure.
What do you see?
The stock market says there's no COVID. Restaurants are open. Restaurants are booming. Everything's booming. Everybody's making money. Everything's fine. If you did not know anything about politics or what's going on in current events, and you just looked at the stock market alone as an indication of what's happening in the world or this country for that matter, you would think everything's fine.
I don't think it's that fine. It's down. Most of it's down 60, 40,
It's the highest
30%.
it's been.
No, it's
It's
way
the
above.
highest it's been ever.
It's all right. This is our one guest. I'm gonna blast this guy right now. Like here
Please
it comes.
do,
He knew it was
because
coming.
I'm a stock market guy.
But
He knew it was
did you
coming. This
look-
guy doesn't watch news. He just comes on for comic relief. Like he's not
That's what I'm
analyst.
good at.
But no.
There is a massive detachment between real life and what's happening.
Well, the
in
difference
stock
is
market.
the companies that are doing well, and the FANGs is specifically what I'm talking about when I say that. They're doing so well because they're American companies, and we're talking about our market specifically right
Sure,
now. Not
sure.
everybody
American,
else.
yeah.
Not everybody else's markets are doing as well as ours. They're doing so well because everybody uses these companies in the world. Use Apple for example. They are the number one telephone in the world. You know,
Sure.
like they're crushing it. You know, like Microsoft. They're the number one PC being used. You know, like
Sure.
Same thing with Amazon and Google and
So for the people that don't know, the FANG stocks are your Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google.
right.
Why isn't Boeing crashing? They created an airplane that they can't sell, and COVID, and nobody's flying. What kind of shit sense does that make?
But it's down.
No, they're up.
no, they're up.
I
So
own some Boeing also.
Well, no, it's not up. I mean,
It's
it's
$175.
way higher than it should be.
well,
way-
then what it
No,
should
I
be,
don't
but
agree
not
that.
from where it
I don't.
was.
I don't agree with that because their valuation, you know, on their number, they're like 300 was where they were before
Yep.
COVID.
But Dustin, FANG stocks in on themselves is not enough to sustain the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P
No, but the
500
answer-
as high as it is,
But
and
the-
when we have a terrible situation happening.
Sure, but people aren't stopped buying phones. Like they still need those phones, and America is on the shit end of this COVID. A lot of other countries are just blazing right through it. Specifically, the Asian continent. Like those guys are over
we
COVID.
have
They're
an
already
election
back.
coming.
They're having fucking raves and parties and doing their thing. They're back to normal, and there's so many more people over there than there is here that are still buying the new phone. They can't wait for the 12. They probably already got the 12 over there. They're already ahead of us anyway. They're already buying the Fangs. They're already getting their new phones and their Facebook's updates. Like they're not missing anything.
So with all the restaurant closing, with all the things going down, job losses,
But most of that's private.
People, but that's a lot of what drives stock prices.
True.
Mortgages. There was an article that just came out today. Houston is number one because our hotels depend on the oil and gas industry, on our mortgage-backed industries. They're all behind. They're all going into special services. Ours is number one. Mortgages being behind, rent being behind. This is going to take 4 to 5 years to recover. You're telling me that this sustains the stock market being the highest ever?
But to recover is different than maintaining. To recover, it's going to take a lot of people time to get back to where they were, but that doesn't mean they're completely without. One, we have a lot of stimulus. We have a lot of people on unemployment. People are getting paid to do absolutely nothing.
A lot of people quit to do nothing.
So
Sure.
are you suggesting that the stock market in the 5 years, I reckon my thought that it's going to take 4 or 5 years to recover from post-vaccine COVID, that during that time, it's not only going to stay where it is, but keep going higher?
It's going to go way fucking higher.
It's
And
only
it's
nowhere
not
to
going to
go
have.
but
It's
up.
not
It's
going to
not
have.
hit the
It's not
bottom.
going to have a reckoning.
Buying some index. We may have a small pullback, but very small, very, very small, because the big guys, the big wigs behind the scenes, if we have any kind of pullback, they're going to buy every single thing that you can imagine, especially the Fangs. But where we're at right now is a maintenance level. We're going to continue growing. As soon as if we get a vaccine,
Yeah.
God, you're going to pray that you had any piece of anyone.
Any
I
stock.
sold Apple. I don't even own Apple anymore. Like I bought during the dip. I didn't bankrupt myself, but I bought the dip when it started. And I mean like March 2nd. I bought, and I had an investment portfolio that I said I was not going to add any more money to.
But you did.
And I used all my money on the second because I'd made a bunch of money before all that happened. You know, we had a good year. You know, like 2019 was great for me. So I had, cash on the sidelines. I put it in. I put more in. And then I was like, well, shit, I'm out of the money that I had on the sidelines. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. And at the time, I'd already escaped Houston.
Yeah.
I'd went out to my parents' house in the hill country. And my dad invests heavily now that he's retired. So we're talking about it. And I was like, man, I'm not putting any more money in there. He's like, that's a good idea. Like just keep rolling what you got, and the stock market kept going down. And I was like, shit, man, I spent all that money. I was like, so I added a little 5,000 here. And I told him, he's like, you said you weren't going to add any money. I was like, man, it's just too cheap. Like I got to buy it.
You got to buy.
It went down again. And I added money and I added money. I added all the money that I had. I'm talking about bank account zero all the way down to the 23rd. Like I was on the 23rd. Like I didn't know I wasn't going to make it. If it went to the 27th, I'd just been shit out of luck. But I bought all the way to the 23rd. And on the 23rd, when it started climbing back up, he told me, he goes, Dustin, I'm not going to buy in. And I hope you're not mad at me about telling your business, Pop. But he goes, Dustin, I'm not going to buy.
Pop, we love you.
He goes, I'm not going to buy until these companies hit their 52-week low. And some of them didn't hit their 52-week low. But I was buying down. And he bought some stuff too. Like, he's not that staunch, you know, where he doesn't buy either. Like, so he did buy some stuff, but he was waiting on the real good buys. I bought all the way to the bottom. And I sold Apple at like $315. It's like $480, $490 now. And I'm just like, God, if I just held on. But, you know, when you're investing and you're trying to make a living out of it, you have to take your wins.
Pull your money.
Take your wins when you can. You know, like,
So I only invest in, and this advice I always give people, it was the best advice I was ever given, and it's the advice I always give people. Only invest in businesses that you understand.
Sure.
You know, there's people that invest in charts. They don't know what the fuck the business is. They don't care what they build, sell. You know, like, there's a bunch of young kids, which is great in my office, that they're into investing, and they're, you know, I bought Royal Caribbean when it was down. And I'm like, what the fuck do you know about Royal Caribbean or how they do business, you know? So I keep my investment portfolio in my, what Warren Buffett called, in my scope, in what I understand. And it's done great. Right now, it's 97% cash, 3% stock. I'm waiting until the reckoning is coming.
We're not going to get out of this till after the election.
I mean, what I'm saying is that the stock market is going to adjust down before it comes back up, and these two things meet.
Oh man, you missed the boat, bro.
Yeah, you missed. It came down to 3 months ago.
I don't think that was.
I don't think it's going to get as low as it did in March.
No, even if it does dip a little bit, it'll be a
but
small
I'm not.
pullback.
I don't invest that much.
Well, the problem is the retail buyer out there, the retail investor, is just pouring money at it right now.
These kids, these 26-year-old kids,
but they're using free money. Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of them are on unemployment. A lot of them don't have bills. Like, I've got a lot of fucking bills. You know, like, I've got 5 cars.
Welcome to the club. I don't have 5 cars. I got a lot of bills.
And I'm not making a joke about that. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. I'm saying I've got a 11-year-old. I've got a home. I've got a couple of businesses. I've got a bunch of cars. Like, I don't have the freedom to just throw at it. You know, like, where these young Robin Hood investors, you know,
the Robin Hood investors. That's right.
These guys have just free money. They can just throw it at it, and it doesn't matter if they lose it.
The government keeps giving them free money.
True.
What about that guy that
took themselves to be Warren Buffetts, like mini Warren Buffetts? Right. You know, like,
what about the guy that took his $150,000 SBA loan and went and bought a Lamborghini?
Oh, you're talking about the guy here in Houston?
Yeah, a lot of them. There was a lot. There was one in Miami. There was one in Dallas.
What's that?
He
got 1.2.
He got arrested though.
They all got arrested.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They all got arrested.
Well, there's one that my girlfriend was talking about that was like specific
in Houston.
Yeah, in Houston, he took all this money, and one of his business partners was dead.
Yeah.
The company wasn't even.
You know what was shocking is he took all that money. He went and bought a yacht, a little boat, a little sport boat. He bought a house. He bought some other shit, and the car he bought was a Kia Stinger. Was that your way of throwing them off?
No, check it out. The one good thing that you have is, even if they do come get your money, you still get one car, one house. You know, like, they do whatever they want to. You know, they can imprison you, but they can't take your homestead. They got to leave you with one car.
Look, this is what I would like both of y'all to do when we leave this place. Go look at the stock market from the start of time, and this is also when I read a lot of Warren Buffett's books. Go look at the stock market from then till now. Forget about COVID. Forget about everything going. Every 8 years, there's a massive reconciliation. It's like clockwork. Yeah. It's 8 years. It's an 8-year period. Ours hasn't happened yet. We have a big reason for it to. And
President Trump
still hasn't happened yet. It could be.
Wait, what do you mean?
It could be.
We just had the biggest crash in history. Like,
no, it was 5 months ago. Since the mortgage crisis, we had the biggest crash.
Yeah,
but the dip, if you compare it to the other dips, is not as much.
It was just like it. Just like it. And if you see the 1 year chart, it crosses the line in 1 year post. It's still ahead of it. And if you can look at that exact same chart that I'm talking about,
I feel like it's still coming. That's my opinion. That's my position. I'm gonna wait till it comes.
I'm glad you have all that money on the sidelines.
We'll figure it out November 4th.
All my money's tied up in the stock market.
So
let's go drinking. Let's go drinking on your money.
Yeah.
If some falls off, we'll figure it out. You'll get a chance to buy and spend all your money. Maybe I'll pull my money out. We'll go drink on my money.
Although, you know what's funny is I told a bunch of people that I cared about that, like, they were fresh into the stock market. When it did dip, I told them, go open accounts.
Sure.
Go open savings accounts. Go put your money now. Over the long run, America's economy is going to be fine.
Sure.
It's going to don't worry about now. And one of them, thank God, she like listened. She went to Fidelity. She opened an account. She started doing retirement. She increased her savings at the right moment. You know, it was like perfect timing for that advice. I didn't listen to it. I stayed cash.
Can't drink your own Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I don't. Which is the way it works. You know, you never listen to your own. You give great advice, but you rarely listen to it yourself. But I traded it into cash when I waited till the dip. When the dip came back up, I sold, and now I'm like, I'm just gonna wait.
I think
we
it's
need to go on
stabilize
vacation
right here for a while.
I think we need to go vacation on his money.
I think so too.
97%, 3%
Stocks.
in the stock, and
Yeah.
93% in cash.
97%.
Cash.
Where do you want to go?
I'm ready to go back.
97%. And by the way, since 2012 till now, 67% increase in value.
Right on. So where are we going? I like Belize.
I just got back from
place.
Scottsdale this past weekend.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, you'll love this story. So everybody tells me before I leave, dude, call Ramin when you get out there. I say, okay, no problem. So no, listen, I get out there, I flip the phone. As soon as I get off the plane, I say, hey Dick, what are you doing to Ramin? And no, I said, hey Dick, what are you doing? I'm in Scottsdale. Ramin texts back. He says, jackass, I'm in Miami. You mean the other Ramin.
Oh,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, rental eBay.
That's
eBay Ramin.
That's right. And I was like, oh man, my bad. How you doing? You know, I just, caught up with him for a minute, and then I was like, all right, well, I don't have any other Ramins in my phone, and I didn't feel like hitting everybody else up because we were already having a good time. Like, we played golf, we played TPC, where the pros play out there. We played Greyhawk, which is like number 2 in Arizona, Wickapa, and the Phoenician. The only one we didn't get to hit was True North, which is like number 1 in Scottsdale. But all the rest of the courses out there, just amazing,
Gorgeous. Huh?
In the middle of the desert, like it's fucking rocks and sand as far as you can see. And then you get on this golf course, and it's just amazing. Like, you could eat off the greens. Like that's how beautiful it is.
I would imagine.
We played TPC all day long. Well, not all day. We were like a tee time at like 3 o'clock. 110 degrees out there. At 6 o'clock, it got so dark, it was like nighttime. It's monsoon season out there. We got caught in the middle of like a rainstorm, trees blowing over sideways, and we tried to play through it. One, because David wanted to get all these pictures. He's like, dude, look at the lightning. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's play. You know, like, he's got all these pictures and like lightning behind me, but it's pitch dark. It's nighttime at 6 o'clock there when all these clouds just show up and like fucking rain and cats
Desert
and dogs.
cloud.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
I made the mistake of hitting Ramin up on one of my Miami trips for work.
The other Ramin?
The Miami Ramin. And this guy, the life he lives in Miami, man, he took me on a yacht, boat. He introduced me to Russian mafia. I mean, I was just like, man, what are you doing out here? He's just like, this. I drink every day. I got this Russian mafia supporting me on cars for rentals.
Oh,
and
I bet.
it was just like, I was like, man, what did I miss?
Maybe that's where
you have the American dream.
But yo, Johnny, you got me low, and yeah, I'm down.
He
Miami's the look. Yeah, I love her. I mean, like, I already got the story of all the dick moves. I don't care. Like, Ramin's never done me wrong.
I'm not worried about that. I hung out with them the whole weekend, bro. I wake up 12 o'clock. In Miami, there's something happening at any time of the day. Either it's on a boat, either it's on a patio, either at somebody's house. And usually my work took me there from Monday morning to Friday. One time it took me there from Thursday to Sunday. So I was like, fuck it. The weekend I'm going to call Ramin. Oh,
Best weekend ever.
Best weekend ever, bro. It was like,
Ramin, we're coming to see you, bro.
we're coming to see you, Ramin.
Coming to see
Get
you.
ready.
Do they still hold the Winter Music Conference over there?
Oh, yeah,
Is
they
that
do.
still-
Yeah.
Yeah. They canceled it this
yeah.
year, but and it's right across the hotel that my job puts me at.
Where you stay?
Intercontinental.
Right next to the what's that place?
Brickell Center.
Yeah. What was a place we used to go out there and stay when Troy Parsons was doing his thing out there?
Oh, man.
It's like the Colony, or what was it's the I can't remember the name.
Where's
of
it in
that.
South Beach?
Oh yeah, in South Beach.
It's in South Beach.
Oh,
Is
in
it
South
Thai?
Beach. Oh, no. It's the Colony,
If it's in South Beach, it's all those Art Deco.
right.
old-
No, it was. It's just
Yeah.
and this was where the
Scarface was shot, probably.
one of them. It was right there near
Yeah.
it. Man, what's the name of that place? Anyway, he just hooked us up. Like, we'd come in town. He was the marketing director of Liquid Lounge. That was the club that Madonna and Chris Sappier, whatever the fuck his name was, the little dancer or whatever, owned at the time. And he was like the man there. We would walk up there, there'd be fucking 700 people in line. Call Troy. He'd walk there.
You right in.
You got, and I know the bar industry, so like that's nothing new to me. But this place was just,
yeah, it was the end of the place to be of places to be
up South Beach. Yeah,
and it was just, Troy was connected with all those guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I met Kid Rock with him, Madonna. I mean, you name it. Like all of the celebrities were there. Like,
I don't want to air out.
Ramin's Russian Mafia still has it the same way there.
Oh, good. Let's definitely go see Ramin.
I mean,
that's a trip.
I think I'm gonna stay away
he
from
took
that
me.
trip. I don't want to hang out with the Russian Mafia.
There's a patio where they serve wine for free from like 5 to 7 p.m. and it's a line from inside to outside wrapped. He goes, when he has that voice, come with me. I said, okay, we go up there. The guy's like, hey, from far away, come on, man. And I just, I told the guys I had 2 luggage. I just got off the airplane. I had 2 baggage. I was like, hey, those maletas. I gave the guy 2 pieces of luggage. I was like, here, hold on to this. My hotel's over there. And then we just went in and all these people in line. And I was like, Ramin, how the fuck did you? He's like, don't worry. My Russian Mafia friend lives up here at 17th floor.
Oh, yeah.
And we went there and we just had a great best table. I didn't spend $1. I don't know how that works, but yeah, we're going to Miami soon. Ramin, we'll see you.
Ramin, we're coming. We're coming. I can't wait. It's been a minute. Well, no, it hadn't been that long. I was there last summer, but whatever. It's time for a trip to Miami.
To Miami. Well,
dude, I've been to Vegas the past 2. Well, I was in Scottsdale last weekend, then Vegas the 2 weekends before that. Dude, I am getting hammered. Like, and I feel like it's like conspiracy theory shit, and I'm not into conspiracy theory shit, but I have been watching the Fall Cabal.
Related to how much you're drinking?
No. No, I just can't win. Like when you get on a run, like I play a lot of cards. Like I play a good blackjack game, and I can get myself back to even most every time. If I'm having a bad day, dude, I was just getting beat on. Like and the one of the last hands I played before I left,
bad run of luck.
Yeah, I got 2 aces on a double deck. So you can't split them again anyway. But anyway, I split them. The dealer says to me specifically, "I'm gonna put them face down because you can't do anything with them anyway." Like, man, that's fucking pretty negative. Like,
yeah. You're not
no help there, bro. Like no help there. And
you can't split them.
You can split them once.
On a double deck, you can only split aces once. On a big shoe, six deck or whatever, you can split them as many times as you want to. They don't care. But on a double deck, like there's only so many in the deal. So he says that he's got a 5, and I'm in great shape. I'm like, oh, this is great. He flips over a 5, flips over a 7, flips over an 8. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I was like, I gotta have the 21s there, to win this hand, and guess what I had?
5s and 5s, 6s, low numbers.
3.
This motherfucker flips over 2 more aces. I've got 4 aces. After he says, you can't do anything. I'm like, I couldn't have because I was playing 2 deck anyway. But just that him saying that, I was like, me fucking asshole. Like
that could have been it.
I think they know.
Yeah,
double down on each hand.
Yes, yeah. But I'm just getting beat on. I can't win right now, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just go have fun instead of giving my money away. Like, let's go spend it. And we did. Scottsdale was a blast. Like
gambling ain't as fun the older you get.
Hey,
bullshit.
Listen, speaking of bad luck, I'll tell you what. I saw Trump on the Republican National Convention. I saw the whole family, the whole team. I don't like it. He's gonna win again. He looks good. He just talks good. The motherfucker's a genius marketer. Everybody better get ready. I'm not a big time fan of Biden either, but it's gonna be 4 more years. I don't know if you guys might like it, but I'm not a fan. But
I'm a bigger fan than I am of Biden and Kamala. Just like when he was running against Hillary. And man, that's what I was saying. I've been watching this Fall of Cabal. Have either one of y'all watched it?
No.
Oh man,
she has a lot of issues,
dude. They get into all of it.
Not a good selection.
She has a lot of background.
Not a good selection, especially with Creepy Joe.
Sure. My point is, he's the lesser of the 2 evils. Is where I'm going with that. I've talked about it on the show before. What we really need to be focused on right now is who will succeed him. That's who we need to pick now. That's right. It's
very obvious.
Who?
They're already grooming his son, Don Jr.
Yeah, never going to happen.
Trump 2024.
I saw it on Axios.
It'll never happen.
I saw it on Axios. They're grooming the son to run in 2024.
Agreed, which is a bad thing.
No.
Unless, and the only way that works out positive is if he just, this next 4 years, we become the biggest, greatest that we've ever seen, and I'm little skeptical of that. I think we'll do better, but we're not going to have a Trump 2024.
Yeah, we are.
They're grooming the son.
They're grooming him.
We need, and I've said
If
it
you hear
before,
his
and I got
speeches,
some. Yeah, I know he's trying to, but unless Trump has just an amazing 4 years, that's just going to get shadowed. You know, it'll get put down. But who is that next person going to be? Even if it's a Democrat, I'm okay with that too. Like, it's not that I have a problem with Democrat or Republican, but we need that one person that really brings this country together. Like everybody, both sides, you know, because we're about to see some, especially if he wins. You think these riots are bad right now? If he wins again,
terrible.
Shit's going to hit the fan. Like, it's going to get interesting.
The only time that he has a chance of losing is if mid-America white man turns on him. And they're about this close. Like the steel industry that didn't come back. Those kind of people.
It's coming.
It'll come back.
I mean, it's hard to say it'll come back when everything he's building is with Chinese steel. So he has that issue that he has to get over.
The difference between that, like, I'll give you a good example. Cleveland Cliffs is a ore miner that produces steel here in America. The tariffs that they're putting on the steel that's coming over here, and the slowdown that we had when we stopped all of the tariffs and the importing anything, slowed all that down. When they stopped those ships take a month to 6 weeks just to get from there to here.
Yeah.
That slowdown, it hasn't been felt here yet. So it's still way out, you know, of getting caught back up. The American steel that we have here, and a lot of American companies say, I will not, and my family's in steel. I don't know if you knew that or not, but my father was the owner of Orzon Industries. Now it's a Spitzer Industry. They bought it 30 years. You know, my dad was in the steel business. There's companies still now that say, per purchase order, we will not use Chinese steel. And that happens a lot. You know, like a lot of companies will not use Chinese steel. So we have that American advantage in that situation, plus the tariffs, plus the backlog, you know, and the backup of ships coming over here with Chinese steel. We have that advantage, you know, to get caught back up. You know, so,
but that's it. It's just if Mid-America turns, he's fucked.
They're not going to turn.
I mean, which it's not looking like they're going to.
No,
turn.
because what's going on with the protests and everybody, you know,
it gives them a reason.
Yeah, it gives them a reason.
Energizes them. It's like, you know, don't you take my police from me? Don't you
take my guns? You know,
the
whole "don't take my guns" movement is really strong again.
Jacob Blake is an idiot.
You know, what's funny is the Democrats would have used that as some ammo at any other time in any other race. They would have said, "Hey, we need to do a cut back on guns and stuff." Right now, they're like, fuck that. Like, no way we're gonna test those waters.
I still think we haven't seen the surprises coming. The money he might give, the stimulus he might give, you know, weeks before the election.
You don't know.
The shit he might do just weeks before the election. Like, I believe that it's coming.
Oh, it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah, like he's gonna be like, here's free money and here fix what you got, a restaurant, here's money for you. And I think it's gonna be
Oh yeah.
It always gets better closer to the
Well, they're gonna dig in. You already tell, like Pelosi and Schumer, like they're gonna dig in right now to not put another stimulus out there. He's gonna use it against them.
He's gonna use it against
They're gonna have to, and he's gonna come to terms, and they're gonna ask for stupid shit. They're gonna ask for like the most outlandish money for all these different agendas that they have, and he's gonna go, no, and then about September 28th, October 2nd, he's gonna be like, okay, you know, let's go and wrap that deal up, you know, but I'm going to need $1,800 a person, you know, and I'm going to need, you know, he's going to meet them in the middle and give away. And I said it before, we had the same show and we were at like $4 trillion already that COVID has cost. And now we're up to like 7 or 8 trillion that it's cost. I said 20 back then, and I think that we'll hit 20 easily.
They'll print as much money as required.
That's right.
And to that point, I also believe that if there is a vaccine for this COVID, like, let's just say there is one existing, we don't know.
October 20th.
This motherfucker's going to get on the TV and go, guess the fuck what?
Yeah, my company just put
my people just.
It'll be a company he's heavily
invested in and heavily been involved with since day one.
Absolutely. Amir, Ryan, thank you both for coming on the show tonight.
Dustin,
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. Every time. Have a great time.
To all of our viewers, please comment, follow, share it, like us. More than anything, follow us, share it, and thank you from you and I.